Hello and welcome to News 500. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Grainne Maguire.
And these are the headlines.
Vienna and Zurich have been named the most livable cities in the world, despite neither of them having a Greggs.
Jeremy Clarkson has been suspended from Top Gear and won't be seen on the show, but watch out for the Stig to get taller.
While lynx have returned to the UK after over 1,300 years, environmentalists are worried about the lynx effect.
A High Court judge has ruled the ban on smoking in public places applies to all prisons, which means no one will want to go there.
Experts have warned, though, that the ruling could have serious security ramifications, with some doubting whether inmates will return after they've popped outside for a fag.
The ruling makes smoking in prison a criminal act, so if found guilty of it, you could be sent to... Oh yeah.
David Cameron was challenged by Ed Miliband to a debate. Miliband was challenged by David Cameron not to go into coalition with the SNP, while Nick Clegg remains challenged.
After the passing of Leonard Nimoy, sci-fi fans all over the world breathed a huge sigh of relief that Harrison Ford survived a harrowing plane crash. To tell us more, we go to our celebrity airplane safety consultant, Eric McElroy.
Hello, Steve. This story is more than just about a single accident. It's a reflection of a bigger social problem in the United States. In America, healthcare is so expensive, Harrison Ford had to learn to fly, buy a plane, and crash into a golf course just to be seen by a doctor.
It's a golf course midweek. So the doctor was close by?
Yes, a doctor on scene acted quickly. Harrison also got an accountant to do his tax return, and a caddy started scavenging the plane for parts.
We understand it was a vintage aircraft.
That's right. He got it a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, although it could still do the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
And how did they find the aircraft?
Easily. He wasn't flying Malaysian Airlines. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Eric. Now our animal update. A luxury hotel in Stockholm was laid siege to earlier this week when a rogue badger refused to let guests leave. That cull doesn't look so bad now, does it?
The investigation into the poisoning of Russian spy Alexander Litvinenko has now moved on to the international dog show Crufts.
The world-famous event descended into scandal when an Irish red setter was murdered. Breeders have blamed outsiders. Police are looking for a suspicious poodle with a syringe.
The dog, named Jagger, was apparently poisoned. Some reports suggest Keith Richards may have drugged the dog, thinking it's what Mick wanted.
And in more dog news, the BBC has suspended Jeremy Clarkson over an alleged fracas, whatever that is.
I think you'll find it's pronounced fracas.
It's fracas.
No, it really is pronounced. There's an S, it's fracas.
It comes from the French, you don't say
yeah,
the
but
last
we're not
it's
fucking
fracas.
French, are we? It's fracas.
As a professional broadcaster, you need to know where these words
professional
come from.
broadcaster knows how to speak properly. It's fracas, fracas.
I know how to speak properly, and I know how to say fracas properly.
It's fracas.
I have learned, I have trained on how to do it.
I'm literally so embarrassed for you. Like, it's mortifying.
Oh, well,
fracas.
you're embarrassed for me.
Fracas.
I'm embarrassed for you with your weird S. Fracas.
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 Say it with me. Fracas. And that is a fracas, a noisy disruption. We wanted to see what you, the viewer, thought, so here are some tweets sent into @News500ish.
From Dave Carlover69 said, "This is more political correctness gone mad. If you can't say racist things or punch people, what's the point of being a celebrity?"
The Green Party 69 said, "They should ban Jeremy Clarkson's fracas. It's just not a sustainable form of energy."
Chris Hume 69, "My ex-wife is interested in taking Clarkson's job because she's a really fast driver."
And Imran Yusuf 69 said, "I agree with #BringBackClarkson. Since You've Been Gone was a classic." Thanks, Steve. Theatre critics in New York have accused Helen Mirren of Americanizing her portrayal of Queen Elizabeth to make her more understandable to US audiences. The Queen was allegedly furious, calling the critics "damn motherfuckers, son."
A Polish city is giving away one-way tickets to its homeless people, claiming they're an embarrassment and off-putting for tourists. London is considering doing the same with Chelsea supporters.
A boy was sent home after going to school for World Book Day dressed as Christian Grey. The suspension was their only option as they couldn't really use the cane.
A radio station in Finland will broadcast the whole of the Quran translated into their language of Finland. Apparently it's so long it's never actually been finished.
And that's it for this week's News 500, the week's news in 500 seconds.
Finished. Like the Quran, finished.
But before we go, here is a segment in our ongoing election coverage with parliamentary correspondent Steve Gribbin.
Ish.
This week, Tory whip John Lancaster took 21 grand extra for an 18-month stint with Palmer Capital Partners. No wonder their initials are PCP. That is one hell of a hit. He said he needed the job because it gave him valuable insight into the rules of investment. The first rule of which appears to be get yourself a job on top of the one that British taxpayers are already paying you to do. In the same week, we had wannabe Tory leadership candidate Adam Afrayi, the multi-millionaire MP for the poverty-racked favela known as Windsor, saying that middle-income families were apparently finding it impossible to raise a family on £67,000 a year. Oh, it's ironic that someone who's made his fortune from microtechnology can't hear as the rest of us play the world's tiniest violin. Coming on top are the revelations about the job-sharing propensities of Jack Straw and Malcolm Rifkind. This only adds to the cynicism about politicians in general. But this is misleading. For the real issue here is not the parliamentary system as such, it's the class of people that run it. Because basically, they all come from a narrow strata of society where 67 grand is considered peanuts, parents are addressed by their first names, and skiing to the shops is considered normal. One of the excuses for MPs having second jobs is it helps them keep in touch with the work that ordinary people do. If MPs' jobs were really to correspond with what millions of people have to put up with at work, MPs would be phoned up when they're on their way into Parliament on the bus and told not to bother coming in today. Every 20 minutes they would be told to reapply for the job they've already been doing for the past 10 years. They'd have an MP of the month who would be forced to wear a false smile of terror and a real smiley badge that says, I'm here to help. And every time they go to the toilet, they'd be followed by management and docked pay for every nanosecond they go over their allowance for taking a dump. And after they've accepted a 0.33333% pay rise for the next millennia and then been given 2 hours notice of the next 0 hours contracted, barely scraping a living wage shift, they'll then be hit by a punitive tax on their second jobs. Let's call it a spare boardroom tax. We need more working class people in Parliament, not less. There are probably more people in the House of Commons now who've played the biscuit game than have actually eaten biscuits from Aldi. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get off my other job as an executive salesman. We're currently pushing our new product, an actual pleb gate. Get out.